Welcome to The Teacher's Story. I'm Jackie Scully. This is a podcast to elevate teacher voice. In this program, you will hear teachers sharing their journey into this profession and their ideas for education. I'm kicking it off Teacher Appreciation Week, which starts May 2nd. This is about honest, vulnerable, inspiring storytelling. It's a time and a space for teachers to share their ideas for the future of education. Teachers are beautiful beings who give their heart and soul to their community. They're innovators, they're inspirational, not only to children, but to the people around them. And they deserve to share their voice. So welcome to The Teacher's Story. Enjoy. Hi, welcome to The Teacher's Story. This is Jackie Scully, and today we are going to end season 3 with a thank you to my guests from this season. And I'm going to read a little bit from my book, The Guided Teacher, as a way of looking at the future of education. And I talk about the moral of the story, which also focuses on the moral of this story of creating a podcast. So I'm ending season 3 today, and we'll kick off season 4 in January 2024 as I go on holiday break. I did this last year between seasons 1 and 2. So I believe in breaks. I believe enjoying time with family and friends. And it's been a very busy fall with getting my book out and continuing the podcast as well as the school year. So this break is really important for me. So thank you all for being on this journey through season 3 and looking forward to bringing you back on in season 4 in January. So this season was all about innovation, going to the next level, looking at educators, some who left the classroom who are now entrepreneurs and doing great, new, wonderful things in education, and really enhancing the whole educational space. So I really enjoyed this season. I enjoyed these guests. It was all about creativity and thinking outside the box and looking at things in a new way that have inspired me and get me thinking about education in a totally new way. And I think we're in a time period of transformation. So this was a great way to highlight some of these guests and what they're doing. And then season 4 will be another layered approach where I will be bringing on some of these guests from season 3 and previous seasons to see what they're doing now, and some collaboration projects and other new guests for season 4. So a big thank you to my guests. I'm just going to run through this quickly and give a synopsis of each episode, and then I will read a little bit from my book, The Guided Teacher. This was episode 58 to 71, featured my guests for this season. We started with Cindy and Christine, who are part of the More Joy community. Cindy created that, and I brought them on to talk about how we bring joy to our cognitive bias and perspective in education and other spaces. Christine Schroff from Prisma. She's the CEO, and Prisma is an international online school that is doing wonderful, innovative curriculum and programming. It was very exciting to hear about this school. Genevieve Frenez, who wrote the book Hearts in Our Classroom, which is a series of poems she wrote that features perspectives of her students during the pandemic. Esperanza Smith, who created Pure Esperanza, which is a company and organization bringing leaders from different industries together to talk about their collaboration and how they can expand consciousness. Caroline Long, she created Social Optics, which focuses on EQ, and currently is a program and app that is being used in schools that she hopes to expand throughout the country. Asna Kakru is a part of the CEO of Peerbog, which is children creating their own stories and becoming published authors. Catherine Karianis, she is an art educator, and she is the preschool art expert and has her book all about art education and helping parents and teachers with teaching art to their students and elevating the arts. Hope Patterson, who has her network, Hope Sparks Network and Hope Brain Trust, again, bringing innovative minds from all over the world together to explore how to push education into the 21st century. Brandon Slade, who has his company Untapped Learning, who focuses on children and executive functioning skills. Diane Woodward, who talks about her story as a nurse educator, and her podcast Love Drops, and all about giving to others and sharing love. And then we end it with our guest, Christine Nore, who is a former behavioral specialist and educator, and has her company and organization, Inclusion Advocates and Allies, where she works with parents and families to help support children with special needs. And so wonderful, wonderful stories, very positive, uplifting, and innovative. So thank you all for being on season 3 of The Teacher's Story. So I'm going to read a little bit of my book at the end of the book to talk about the moral of the story and how I envision education in the future. So this is my book, The Guided Teacher, that I self-published in October 2023. If you are interested in reading my book and learning more about my vision, you can buy this on any Amazon marketplace. And thank you for all of your support. I'll also have this in the show notes. So this is towards the end of my book. What is the moral of the story? Carissa Schumacher asked me in February 2023, what is the moral of the story? That stayed with me for the last few months, and now it is starting to make more sense as I even write these words today. In the first year of my podcast, The Teacher's Story, I had met over 50 guests from all over the world, which now become dear friends, and through the podcast, I realized the moral of the story. This podcast and these stories are not just about telling a story, but it's about connection. We have built a web of connection over this past year, which now has made a big impact on my life. Every single guest on this show has touched my life in a certain way. I had moments of sadness, joy, laughter on the show. I have felt the heart and soul of my guests. Storytelling is only one key part and helps us get to the moral, but the moral is the takeaway. My career as a teacher, especially a history teacher, is about storytelling. I tell stories, I teach histories in order to help young people understand where we came from and why the world is the way it is. The story is the first part. It's not the actual learning. Learning history and knowing all the facts about people and dates means nothing without the moral. I am a daughter, sister, wife, dog mom, friend, and teacher. My story is this whole story I told up to this point. It is my journey, but it's not the main point. My story, my journey, my identity is only part of the essence and my existence. The moral of my life is the connection. The moral of any story is connection and community. God created us and all living organisms in this way. We were meant to live and grow together and expand consciousness with each other and with God. We are the ultimate ecosystem. School is a space to explore our interconnectedness. Instead of separating subjects and grade levels by age, we should promote bridging more connection between all of it. We should give more time and space to our educators and students to explore and dive into their passions. School does not need to be a place to do things and get a job done, but to create and have time and space to dive into consciousness. That bright, vibrant child at 3, 4, 5 years old is still the same soul at 13, 14, 15, up to adulthood. We should not lose that childlike wonder, and we should not have an educational system that sucks that out of us. It should be promoting that wonder. We need space for that. I would like to promote changing the structure of all schools to create the space for educators and children to wonder, explore, create, co-create, and serve their community to then see the interconnectedness of it all. A schedule that can work in schools could look like a focus of 1 to 2 subjects a day, but then create time and space for physical activity, consciousness activity, eating and discussing with friends in a proper amount of time, and exploring passion projects and creating them. School does not need to be cramming in 6 to 8 subjects in a day that focuses on doing and producing, but a space to just be and embrace humanity and human flourishing. I will include the sample schedule along with connected consciousness curriculum at the back of this book. This does not need to be difficult. We can make these changes to the current educational system. We just need to stop going with the status quo and embrace the messiness of experimentation and trying something new. It is scary and it won't always work, but life is about forging ahead and innovation. We can do this and we must. The children are ready. They have been ready and they're ready to create this new educational space with us. I will keep working the rest of my life on this mission. We can do this together. Will you come along with me hand in hand and keep working on building a better way of life? Thank you for coming on this journey with me. You are love, light, and abundance. I love you all. So that is from the back of my book, The Guided Teacher. And then I leave with a curriculum called Connected Consciousness and a sample schedule. Thank you all for being on this journey with me with the teacher story and listening to season 3. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season if you're celebrating the holidays this time of year. And I will see you all back in January for season 4. Bye. Happy holidays.